there's a screw right under here that's backed out. It's actually pressing up against this board. Okay, so here we have my Sony a7C Mark II, and it's paired with the Tamron 70-180 f2.8 Di3VC VXD G2. And I'm having an issue. I hung it up the other day and I noticed something right away. Do you see it, right? Because if I set my camera straight, the lens is crooked. And if I set my lens straight, my camera's crooked. And I noticed that once I hung it up, that there's a little situation right here. And you can maybe see if we can see it. There's this gap on this side that's not on this side. So we're gonna open it up and see what's inside. Voiceover junkie here, letting you know that we first have to start by removing 4 screws off of the back. Let's zoom in here. Doing okay? Okay. This is the first ribbon cable. To remove it, all you have to do is tug on it lightly, but hold on to the cable itself because you don't want these things to rip. Be sure to set up your weather sealing gasket like I did here. You wouldn't want to lose it. Focus. Inspecting the back, there are 4 screws that we're going to need to remove, and there's a 5th screw that is holding on a ribbon cable. Don't forget to remove the 2 screws on the side for the USB connection. Now time to investigate. And look at how tight it is here. And this open gap here, which is right by the USB-C port. So let's investigate. Oh, it's right there. Okay. Let me see if I can zoom in here. There's a screw right under here that's backed out. It's actually pressing up against this board. So that's good news because it looks like it's just a screw. So if I'm able to screw that back in, we should be in business. All right, so let's get to it. Okay, there are 3 more connections here that we need to remove carefully. Yeah, you gotta be careful not to ruin any of those cables. It's very important. Okay. Well, I'm gonna take out the screws and back them out first. But there are some ribbon cables here as well. This looks like it's the USB connection. So I might loosen these screws and this whole knob might come out. So that would be one less connection that I would have to replace. But it looks like this one that flips under, I have to be careful with. But let me see, because if I don't have to take either out, then that would just allow me to just kind of flip it open and then just screw down the screw that's backed out and then put it right back. And then these three on top are actually pretty easy, I guess, for me to put back on.
It's important to remove the two screws from the USB because they're being held on by ribbon cables. So if you were trying to lift that PCB board, most likely would rip if it doesn't have the ability to flex.
It's actually two of them. Once I check the USB cable, let's see if we could display this. So there's a little ribbon cable here connected to this screw, and this one's backed out about halfway, and this one is backed out a lot more. This one was actually pressing up. So it's very interesting. I don't know what would cause that, but I'm glad that it's not that it was dropped or that anything's broken, and all I have to do is just retighten, close everything up, and we should be in business. So yeah, let's do it. Well, I'm gonna tighten up all the extra screws that are here as well. There's no reason not to while I'm down here.
Once the inner screws are tight, now it's time to put everything back together.
Okay, so success. We didn't have to remove those two ribbon cables at the bottom, and now I just need to connect these three on top.
Like I mentioned before, connecting the ribbon cables is fairly easy. Just place them and press them back in. When replacing the back cover, remember to push through the ribbon cable so that it doesn't get stuck underneath. When replacing the mount, you do the same thing and just press down to connect the ribbon cable. I had trouble with the metal shim at the back and it didn't fall in place correctly, so if you're doing this yourself, double check your shim and your gasket before you lock everything down.
All right. That is good. All right, let's test it out on the body again. All right. No more jiggle. Solid. Success. Like I said, I don't know if this is a common issue with this lens, and I don't know the reason why these screws are backed out. But the good news is that it's fixable. And as you can see, that I'm able to do it without the lens needing to be replaced. If you're dealing with a similar issue, please let me know in the comments. I would love to know if this was something that was particular to me, or like I said, if it's a common issue with the lens. And if you like this type of content, then I would tell you this would probably be a good time to subscribe to the channel. My name's Luis, also known as Mr. Camera Junkie, where I help you avoid the hype of new gear and I suggest the correct gear for your setup. And if that interests you, like I said, subscribe and I will see you in the next video. Talk to you. And I want to give a special thanks to the junkies who support me through channel memberships.